not gonna lie, I feel like $1,000,000 because they always want me out. They always are plotting on me. So it feels good to make it further. I was working with Kate, so we had our own little plan. But she has her own little side plan too. But we had a plan and it worked. Got me here. If I don't win immunity, they're kicking me. They're kicking me. I know that. So I have to try to at least win immunity in order to win. I hope I win. But I have bad luck, so we'll see.
The plan was to get as far as possible. So, I mean, there's only like one more step to the final three. So, like, I didn't make it this far the first time. Luke's going to tell me who to vote for, and then we just hope that that person gets voted out. Luke and I have been working together. Brian caught on to that, and it kind of made me mad that he figured that out. It made me more mad that he called us out.
If Keandra wins, I'm still trying to decide whether it would be in my best interest to vote Luke or Mike. If I vote Luke and we tie the vote and we have to compete, that's a 50-50 chance right there. If Keandra still wins and I vote Mike, I think it's still going to be about a 50-50 chance.
If I win Final Three, I'm kind of safe. Kate and I have been talking. We've honestly texted and talked back and forth since before even we started. I think we started texting about our plan for this year. We kind of made it our goal to be the next Lucy and Alex of Survivor for this year and in a year or two to come, depending. But we do have a plan established. Honestly, it's going to come down to who wins immunity. Just one thing that I wish we could have done a little better, and that was plan out how we voted people out, because now the jury is going to be gunning for me and Kate and whoever third person is probably has a good likelihood of winning it all because they probably know the two main people here in it. But honestly, it did work for the most part. Really surprised, actually. I really thought something else was going to happen. Lucy, pulling something out, or who knows. But yeah, honestly, everything we planned, it worked out really well.
Welcome, everybody, to the finale. We've got 4 left. After tonight, we will have a winner for Season 15. So, Kate, Luke, Mike, Keandra, are you ready for your final immunity challenge?
For today's challenge, you are going to place the popsicle stick that was provided in your mouth and stack as many dice as possible on the popsicle stick. You can stack them in whatever way is easiest for you. When the dice fall, your round is over, and however many you had before they fell will be considered as your final score. The player with the most dice stacked will win immunity. If there is a tie, the players who are tied will go again, and this time will have 1 minute to stack as many as possible, with the player stacking the most dice being the one to receive immunity.
To determine the order, Keandra, you won immunity at the last challenge, so we're going to let you pick the order here. You decide who goes first and who goes last. First, second, third, fourth. What would you like?
Luke, Mike, Kate, and me.
Good foul.
Very short round there for Luke, but Luke finishes with 2. Mike, take it away. Short rounds here, so Mike also finishes with a score of 2. Next up, Kate. I count all 9. Kate had it. That was a solid few seconds. Kate got all 9 of her dice there. So it all comes down to this. Keandra, if you can get all 9, we'll go to the tiebreaker. If not, Kate wins immunity and guarantees her spot at the final tribal council.
It was 5.
I knew it wasn't all 9, so with that, Keandra drops. Kate wins immunity, guarantees her spot at the final tribal council. Congratulations, Kate. Luke, Mike, Keandra, gave it your best shot. You lasted into the final week, but one of you will be the final member of the jury. I'll give you all a few minutes to strategize, and we'll get back to it in a little bit.
Everything went according to plan. Contingency plans for everything that went on. Did we have to use some of those? Yes. Did it still work out? Yes. For the people that have guessed that I was in an alliance with Luke the entire time this season is played out, that will really, really mess things up a little bit, at least for my vote. If Luke also makes it in, I think Keandra would be the one to win. And actually the 3 of us, actually the remaining 4 of us, have been in alliance the whole time.
Kate, you made it to the final 3. How's it feel?
Feels good to finally make a final 3. It's taken, I don't know how many seasons at this point, but it's about time.
Luke, what happens now for you, Mike, and Keandra? Your fate is kind of, in a sense, in Kate's hands. You're so close to the end. What do you do?
I feel like most people already have their mind made for who they're voting for at this point. So you keep your fingers crossed if you are that person. And if you aren't, you're on to the final 3.
Keandra, what do? Do you try to talk with Kate and plead to Kate and say, hey, let's team up? 2 votes can at least force a tie and, then let it go into fate's hands? Or do you fall over and accept defeat? Do you team up with Mike and or Luke? Like, what do you do?
I mean, I can hope for the best, but it is what it is.
How about you, Mike?
I mean, like Luke said, everyone already has their mind made up, so like you just got to hope for the best.
Luke, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you think, or how much do you think you're going to survive through this round?
Through this round, a 7 or an 8. I'm confident, but I don't ever want to say 100% confident survivor because you never know what the heck might happen with twists and turns and whatnot. So I'd say a 7 or an 8.
Mike, what's your confidence level?
I'd say about like a 5. Like, I'm not really sure. I'm really just hoping for the best.
Keandra, what's your confidence level?
0.
So, Kate, based on that, I mean, you have a big decision in here too. You're voting for the last person on the jury. Do you vote for someone you think that will vote for you to win the game? Do you vote for someone that you think, well, if I take them to the end, they might gain some votes, like they're taking away votes from me? What do you do?
Vote for the person that's going to keep you or give you a vote, especially when you're in the final 4. Like, there's nothing more you can really do aside from your talks at the end to convince them.
For your final time, it is time to vote. Take a selfie of your vote on the voting paper. Send it my way, please. All right. I'll read the votes. First vote, Luke. Keandra, One vote Luke, one vote Keandra. Keandra. The 11th person voted out and the final member of our jury. Keandra. Keandra, tribe has spoken.
Oh my gosh. You let Keandra get this far? That's crazy. That's crazy. I saw it coming. Because as you see, I don't have faith in myself. It is what it is. Luke. He will not have my vote. Because he got me out. He had made everybody vote for me my first time playing Survivor, and that's why I was eliminated. All I gotta say is I'm coming for you, Luke. I'm coming for you because you made me lose the first time.
Be my first time reaching the final three, which has always been a big challenge for myself that I've always wanted to achieve. But honestly, it's going to be tough, I think, talking to some of the people, mostly because a lot of them I did vote out myself personally, and by most, I mean all. There's not one single person that I changed a vote on. Everybody I voted for got voted out, so sorry to all you. But honestly, I would want to tell them, and I'm probably going to tell them if I make it to the final three, it's more challenge, like you've always told us, it's a mix between that strategy and also being able to play. I don't think I should be voted out because I made some of them angry, but that's just the way that it goes. I thought I did a good job in participating in challenges, winning a couple here and there. Strategy wise, working with other people, trying to vote people off. There was a lot of strategy in terms of forming alliances that would work, and also trying to get people out at good times that we kind of thought fit, and I personally thought fit a lot more than anything else as to how we could properly get through to the final three. So I probably talked to them a lot about stuff like that. I do have a little bit of hope because Alex, I think it was last week when he got voted out. When he was getting voted out, he kind of said he wasn't sure who was, the ringleader, I think is what he called it. So I feel like that could give me a bit of hope where some people see Kate as the head honcho, whatever you want to call it, the big cheese, and I could be that second in command, because you need to be that second person. The first one is the one that's going to get not all the votes because they're kicking everybody off. You want to be that second person that kind of plays it as low as possible. So that's what I try to do this season, honestly. Didn't tell Kate that, but I've tried to be that second person there. So hopefully it works out for me. And also, please, anybody I voted out, don't take it personal. Next season's a different season, and if I see you at school, it's just a game, like Aaron always says. I'm not going to hold a grudge against any of you, and I hope you don't do the same.
I guess I'd be kind of nervous because, I've never made it that far. So, I've made it to, I've been pretty close, but, I just haven't made it that far yet. So, I don't know. I don't really know how to go about it. I'm nervous because, I don't know what kind of questions they're going to ask me. I don't know. I just want to win, to be honest. I don't know why. I just have a good feeling. I just have a feeling that I'm going to win. I just have that feeling.
I definitely played a better game than I have in the past. I got an alliance that worked, one that's gotten me at least to the final four, one that I've been working on, so I can't say that it would be something that I know is going to bite me in the butt later, because we all know how it's going. So far, we have our plans. Definitely have to say I played the game the way I haven't in the past, which is really, I don't want to say lying to people, but definitely lying to people to get to where I'm at. But that seems to be how you have to play this in order to win. Good luck to everybody that's left. See who wins.
Luke, Mike, Kate, congratulations. You have made it to the final 3 and the final tribal council. As they say, the power of this game now shifts to the jury. There are 7 people on that jury that you either directly or indirectly had a hand in voting out. It's now going to be your job to plead your case as they ask you questions. And in a few moments, they will vote which of the 3 of you is most deserving of the title for this season. Go ahead, Mike. Lead us off.
You know what? I just want to win. I don't know what more to say. I really don't know what to say. I've never made it this far before. So, yeah.
So this year, even though it was all virtual, I think it was still a really fun year. In terms of actually playing, outwitting, to be honest, most of the people that have played either before the merge or anything like that, I invited to play myself. I'm not saying I did that because they were easy votes or anything, but I kind of had a plan of getting enough friends to play that we could work something out. So that was kind of something that I planned it with from day one whenever we first started playing, was seeing who I could trust, making alliances that would last, which did end up working, fortunately, for me there. In terms of outplaying, I only won immunity once, but I still put up a fight in almost every challenge. I mean, I ate the wrappers of Starburst to try to win, which still ended up failing, but I did that. There was a couple challenges that I might have gone out early on, but I like to think that I played really, really well this season. Also, thanks to the toilet paper for not being able to win me that challenge either. But I've played, I think, pretty well this season compared to previous seasons. This is my first time being in the final 3. And then outlasting, I mean, obviously, like Aaron said, that kind of everything comes together. It's a good mix of both, being able to outwit and outplay different people. So overall, I think I did it really well this season.
Well said. Thank you, Luke. Kate, go ahead.
Well, I think I'm going to piggyback off of Mike on one thing that I want to win too. But I have to say, at least for me, like my outwit and my outplay certainly like came together in more ways than I thought it would. The alliances that I built really were what I think made everything come together a little more. I was able to get an alliance that would get me to this point, and to be able to play the way I did. In some instances, I think had I played the way I did and not had that alliance, I definitely wouldn't have made it as far as I did. But knowing that I did kind of made some of the decisions I made a little bit easier, as well as some of the ways that I played a little easier. Certainly, like your outlast has to do with your outplay and your outwit, and since I'm here, kind of came together as well as I could have hoped. But that's it.
Thank you all. Good opening statements. Jury, it's now your time to shine. Claire, you were the first juror. Claire, you get to go first. Take it away.
Okay. So Kate, you said that it made it easier for some of the decisions that you made and some of the things that you did. Tell us kind of, what were those difficult decisions that you made?
Some of the more difficult ones are like when we were at least on tribes earlier pre-merge, was like who in order I would want to vote out if I had the power to vote said person out, to kind of whittle down that amount of people that I had to worry about come post-merge.
Next up is Raissa. Go ahead, give us your question. And now you're frozen. I know you texted me earlier saying you might be frozen, but I can't hear you. Raissa says, Kate, Did you stick with anyone you thought you would from the beginning?
Yes, absolutely. As hard as it was, yes.
Kate, did you vote me out?
Yes.
So were you in this final three the whole time?
At least me and one other person, yes. I wasn't sure about that third person.
So you're happy with backstabbing your friend?
I mean, it's happened in the past, so yeah.
Okay. All right.
It was time for me to play it the way I should have a long time ago.
I understand. That's all.
Glad you said that because I wouldn't have been able to get that across if I would have had been able to say. Well, next up is Brian.
Luke is getting first place and Michael getting second. But that I called it from the beginning. I'm telling you right now that y'all need to vote Luke out at this point. Michael and Luke cannot win first or second. That's the end of me.
Next up is Lucy. Take it away.
Kate, how do you justify basically flat out lying to me in text messages and like back talking against Michaela the whole time? Like, how do you justify that? That was really mean. You're really harsh.
Well, gotta play the game somehow. This game isn't exactly the most truthful game. I've been playing it long enough to know that. Also, Michaela, I think I've said like 2 things maybe. So, I don't know you. I don't think I've ever met you, honestly.
Next up is Alex.
Okay, so for the 3 people that are left, remember what I said when y'all voted me out? When I said that everybody else was gonna get screwed over by the ringleaders of your alliances? Did that happen?
No.
So you were the ringleaders. Gotcha. Cool. Okay, second, I want to know, because that dice thing that Caitlin did freaked the hell out of me. I can't believe she did that. Mike and Luke, y'all haven't been super interesting. Y'all a bunch of no energy Nancy's. Mike over here going, "Oh, I just want to win. Make me win, guys." So, Luke, Mike, what have you two done that's like interesting? What are your accolades? Remind us. Because Kate's a freaking baller right now.
I'll go first, probably because Mike won't have much to say anyway, so I'll leave the words for last. Honestly, throughout the game, there was times where I made alliances with certain people when they thought that they wouldn't make it any further. I wanted to take them as far as they could go. To be perfectly honest with you, the third person that could have been here was totally up in the air, depending how the game was played throughout different challenges. If one person would have won immunity different, the whole game would probably be different. So I like to think that I was rolling with the punches and kind of bringing along people, even when they didn't think that they would make it. I like to think I was one of my better appearances throughout the challenges. Mike, it's your turn if you don't know.
I don't have. I didn't do anything interesting, honestly.
Dude, come on. Okay, like one to each
honest.
of you, because Luke was a bunch of, I did great at everything, and Mike's was, I was whatever. What was your best challenge? What challenge did you do the best at? Just name one.
The Starburst one, because I was in quarantine and I didn't have my stuff, so I couldn't do it.
What the Luke?
I think mine was the battleship one. The one that I think actually.
Were you the one that tanked all 3 of us?
Yes, I did. It was actually in my head
okay.
Whenever I started seeing you go around. I was like, wait a second. That means that we all 3 have the same spot. So I was like, well, what's the worst that's going to happen? Like, I died too. I mean, literally all 3 of us had the last spot. So I just gave it a shot. Literally, this is Battleship. But I think that was my best challenge.
Okay. Yeah, literally vote for anyone other than Mike. That answers my question. Thank you.
Next up is Michaela. Take it away.
So I will say I already know who I'm voting for. But one question I wanted to ask, so I think Reyesa might have already kind of asked this, but so have you guys always had an alliance, or did it develop throughout as the game was going on, or like what happened there, and how do you guys feel about that?
So I can kind of talk about this a little bit better. We had an idea from the beginning, but it was always changing based on tribes and stuff. Like I said, the third person was always up in the air. And if I'm being perfectly honest, there was at one point where, Michaela, if you won the challenge, we were going to vote Mike off, and you could have been the third person here. No offense, Mike, but I'm just saying it how it comes. There was a couple times where that plan could have easily changed. It just really all depended on who won what challenge.
Luke's honestly right. Like, this game is a game that kind of changes based on what happens. You have to survive, and it just so happened that events changed. Mike won, and that's kind of how the dice fell or didn't fall for some.
And that leaves us with Keandra. Close it out.
My question is for all of y'all. So, did y'all have anybody in mind that you wanted out, like any specific person in the first place?
Is this like just general, like throughout the game, before merge, after merge, just anything like that? Not really, because I didn't know too many people coming in how they would play. Michaela, I knew never played before. Hope she was in before the merge. I didn't know how she would play. I didn't know how Mike would play, because the last time I played with Mike, I got voted out early. Alex, I played with you before, I think in a season or something like that, and I knew you were really good. So I wasn't going to vote any of like the really good players out too soon, because that kind of ruins the game too. I didn't just want a boring game that nobody would have fun with. So I wouldn't say that I necessarily had anybody directly in mind, like from the beginning.
I'd have to say, like, it's kind of hard, at least to say right away, who you'd want voted off, because, like Luke said, it kind of makes for a boring game. But pretty much anyone that you play against previously and they're good is somebody that you're going to be a little leery about having in the game, especially keeping them around too long, because you don't know, you could be the next one voted off depending on who you have still in the game.
Leave this as an open forum for any juror that if you thought of any more questions or there's anything else that you want to ask, now is the time to do that.
I just thought of a few more questions. Sorry, Kate, they're for you still. Do you think that you can beat Luke?
I got a 50-50 shot, I think. I'm not super confident. I wouldn't say over 50%, but we'll see.
Then do you think it was a good idea to bring Luke with you to the final three?
If I didn't, I don't think it would make it as interesting, to say the least. It kind of, depending on how people feel, brings it to a very, I don't want to say hard decision, because I'm sure some people aren't super thrilled with Luke being here to begin with, but at least like the way we've both kind of played, in my eyes, kind of brings it to, like, we both worked, I don't want to say the hardest out of everyone, but like we definitely put a bit in. Like, I'm sure there's people who definitely worked harder than we did to the point that they did.
So you'd rather have it more interesting vote than you able to win easier?
Yeah, a challenge kind of makes it more worth it, I guess,
All right.
than just having an easy vote.
Luke, do you think you can beat Kate?
I like I said, or she kind of said, it's 50-50. What she kind of said with us working like hard but not play harder than others. I mean, we would text each other on and off almost all the time, no matter what, between votes, the day before the game, week before the game, after the game, FaceTime, whatever. We were always trying to work on something, like some sort of future plan. And by the way, I did know about this challenge before because I played it in a minute to win it competition. But either way, we would always message just plans, ideas, anything. We didn't even half the time some of the ideas we made up we didn't even really like finally use. It would change, like I said, throughout the game. Do I think that I have a better chance at beating her? I wouldn't necessarily say so. Like I said, so before we even came to this point, you never know what's going to happen. For all we know, by some god miracle, Mike's going to win this entire thing. Which, if he does, congratulations, Mike, early. But either way, I think it's all up in the air. Honestly, I can't give a definite answer. If I can't be it.
I'm all good now. Thanks.
I mean, this is more of like a comment than a question. But for Kate and Luke to say that like they were doing all the strategic planning to ensure that they would make it to the final three from someone who wasn't involved in their planning, it kind of came off as kind of like shots in the dark and not super orchestrated. Just kind of like, I mean, from like an outsider perspective, in that even just like you guys talking about it now, saying, "Oh, well, we didn't know, how it was going to go out, but this is all the planning that we did." So it kind of draws into the question of, kind of the three components of the game in terms of like outwitting, because, I mean, and just like, I don't know, just from like the way you guys have responded tonight, just kind of something I picked up on.
And if I can like touch on that a little bit, Claire, like Aaron always says, like he's got to have backup plans to his backup plans to his backup plans for some of these games that he has. Like I think we had at least 2 or 3 backup plans for some of these votes, like depending on who won immunity and things like that, especially with that little curveball Aaron wanted to throw in there a few votes ago, like how we would vote depending on who won or who we thought would win. It just, everything all changes. This is a game that everything changes based on one little move that's made.
I'd like to piggyback off that one as well. Claire, if I remember correctly, we voted you out a little earlier in the merge. Actually, I think first in the merge. Now that I'm thinking about it, I had some information that Reyesa had an immunity idol or something along those lines, which is why a couple people pointed me towards you because they weren't sure who else to vote. They were afraid that some of the veterans were gonna vote for them. That's why we kind of decided to vote for you in that aspect there. So that kind of makes a little more clarification.
I wasn't asking about me specifically. Like, I really didn't care about that. I was just speaking, just kind of like the way, like in just the order that people were voted out in overall.
Okay. Last words from the final three. Mike, lead us off.
I don't really have anything. I think I'm done for.
Luke.
Yeah, overall, like I said at my opening statement, this was a really fun season. For those that I did vote off, I'm really sorry. I mean, that's the way this game goes, though. It's if we could have a final travel count with everybody that I wanted, there would be a lot more people here, honestly, pre-merge and post-merge. But the game itself, many of you have played before several seasons, and you know how it goes. And even just talking to Kate at the beginning of this, before we even decided to work together in some parts, she was like, she brought up the fact I voted her out like one of the first people like last season. And, I did kind of feel bad, but if I do play with any of you again in any future season, I hope that any of the things that I've done or anybody that I know doesn't affect the way that like the game is played at all. So I have to say.
Go ahead, Kate. Thank you, Luke, for that.
All right. It has definitely been an interesting season, to say the least. I definitely know there's stuff that I probably shouldn't have done. Probably not the best of ideas, but I had to do it eventually. It got me here. It happens. It's how the game's played. I'm sure some people would have made the same decisions, but have to play the game somehow and got to get to the final three eventually, hopefully. So, but thanks for a good season.
Okay. For the last time this season, it is time to vote. Jury, you are voting for a winner. You are writing down the name of the person that you want to have win this game. Good luck to the final three. Luke, Mike, Kate, jury, thank you for another great season. Definitely a memorable one. First one, all virtual for Survivor Mac Edition. But you can only have one winner. So here's what's at stake. Winner will receive a $50 Visa card. Second place will receive a $25 Visa card. Winner gets their name written in glory in all the record books, along with a little certificate that will put your name on when all is said and done. These are names for a winner. There were 7 people on the jury. It takes 4 to win. I'll read the votes. First vote, Kate. Kate. 2 votes, Kate. Mike. Mike.
No way.
We are tied. 2 votes, Kate. 2 votes, Mike. Kate.
No
Mike.
way.
We are tied. 3 votes, Kate. 3 votes, Mike. 1 vote left. The winner of Survivor Mac Edition, Season 15. Kate.
Good job,
Kate.
Dave.
I'm not even upset. I'm not even upset.
Kate, congratulations. You are the winner of this season. A nice job, a great game by all. Congratulations to the final 3. This was something to remember. I'm glad you were all a part of it. It's been fun. It's been a good time. Kate, how you feeling? Give me
Feel
your
good.
reaction to the winner.
It took a while, so it feels good to finally get here to this point. It's been a long time coming, so.
Mike, you fell just short, but you got some votes in the
If I
end.
knew how to talk, I would have won.
Luke, walk me through. Made it to the end. So close, yet so far.
Yeah, I probably didn't play the best of my ability this season. I did vote out, I think, every single person that was on the jury. So that was kind of expected. I called that earlier. I think I texted Kate that. I was like, honestly, Kate, I don't know if I'm going to get any votes, which turned out to be true because I did, in fact, vote everybody out here. But you know what? That's just the way the game goes. So.
I cannot thank you all enough for playing this season. I hope that if your schedule allows, you'll play again in the spring. Can't thank you enough. Congratulations, Kate. Job well done.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in all season to see how our first ever virtual season of Survivor Mac Edition played out. It was a lot of fun to run this program with the students and alums of Mount Aloysius. And we are not done. We do this every semester. So if you are a Mount student, we will be holding our 16th season beginning in late March of 2021. I encourage everyone, if you are a Mount student, sign up. It's free to play. You can win a $50 gift card, just like Kate just did moments ago. And it's a lot of fun. A lot of times we have new players that are very hesitant. They don't know what to expect signing up. You just got to see a whole season virtually. I encourage everyone to sign up. If you don't know what to expect, you just experienced a little bit. Michaela, Hope, Brian, they were all first-time players. They didn't know what to expect, and all three said that they had a great time. You got to see how their seasons unfolded. But thank you all very much for watching, and congratulations again to Kate for winning our 15th season.
Hey,